Okay, my friends, let's have a more thought-provoking conversation about the news this week and how it's really going to impact the real estate market going forward. So you guys don't need me to tell you what happened this week. Everyone with a microphone was flipping out about the first cut to the federal funds rate in 4 years. There was the anticipatory freaking out, then there was the reactionary freaking out, and it's been a lot of freaking out all week long. We are entering a new era, one that we've been waiting for quite some time, one that the economy needs, and one that typically bodes really well for the real estate market. As you guys all know, though, the Fed funds rate is not the direct equivalent of mortgage interest rates. Ironically, on Wednesday, mortgage bonds initially yawned at a 50 basis point rate cut, and then they closed the day a little bit down. Mortgage interest rates actually worsened a little bit following the Fed announcement. But if we zoom out, this is without a doubt good news for mortgage interest rates, and they're probably going to continue cooling off. What gives me that kind of confidence was Powell's presser following the announcement and the commentary that came out. He said that he thinks inflation will continue to cool off as the Federal Reserve continues to cut the Fed funds rate. Now, we know mortgage bonds, their enemy is inflation. So we are entering a period where there could be multiple economic factors improving interest rates simultaneous. Also noteworthy is that last week, I believe it was last week, the yield curve between the 10-year Treasury note and the 2-year Treasury note became uninverted. It was inverted. Okay, I might be losing you guys here, but stick with me. Typically, when you invest your money for longer, you yield a better return. But things have been so wonky with the economy lately that you could actually get a better return on a 2-year note than you could on a 10-year. So the yield curve was inverted. Well, now that it's flattened, there's things we should keep our eye on. Like, for the past few years, because of the yield curve being inverted, 30-year mortgage interest rates were actually the best priced mortgage product when typically other ones are better priced. Now we can watch shorter term loans like the 15-year fixed and ARMs, fully amortizing, safe ARMs. Those should start having improving interest rates too. All of this is really good news for buyers because it improves their buying power. And it's also really good news for sellers because it increases the demand for their home. But that's where the catch-22 comes in, right? We've been spending a lot of time warning buyers not to wait for interest rates to drop because prices will go up, their competition will increase. And that's true. But I saw something this week that actually made me really sad. A well-intentioned realtor, not here, not local, she's in a different market, she posted a reel that was gaining a lot of traction. It was actually going a little bit viral. And it's super short. She just says, when interest rates go down, buyers are going to flood into the market and it's going to drive home prices up. That was it. It was a very short video. And the very first comment on the video was from a consumer, a normal person, not a realtor or lender. At least that's what I can gather from the tone of his comment. And he said, if we don't buy, prices go up. If we do buy, prices go up. We need a new system. This is a big problem, guys. I've personally done presentations. I've seen them on housing affordability and how it affects the mental health of our local communities and the power that we have as real estate professionals to help people, to gain their trust and to help them navigate this. I could have wrote a whole post today on the kind of rhetoric that we should be using now given the most recent news, the kind of posts we should be sharing, the messages we should be promoting now that we're in a new cycle of rate cuts. And I will do that post for you guys. But today I actually want to go even deeper. Is the system really broken? The politicians, the media, especially during an election year, they're talking about how housing affordability is one of America's biggest problems. And they blame institutional investors. They blame inflation and interest rates. They blame Wall Street. They blame corporate greed. But does the blame actually lie with us? And I don't mean as realtors and lenders. I mean as a society. Let me ask you this question. Let's try this example. If I ask you personally, should we build more homes in your neighborhood? Yes, it will increase density. Yes, there'll be more traffic in your morning commute. The construction will be messy and noisy for a little while. And initially your home value might actually go down because there'll be more inventory, more homes for buyers to choose from. I'm guessing you're thinking, hell to the fuck no. But do you realize this is the only way we improve the cost of housing? More housing, more inventory. Density is a touchy subject, especially here in Reno. We don't like the hit to affordability we've taken in recent years because it's been steep and it's been painful for a lot of people. We like to blame Californians for driving up the cost of housing. Never mind the fact, though, that we have golf courses, multiple golf courses inside city proper. You know, in most cities, golf courses actually have to be on the outskirts because inside the city proper is needed for houses. I mean, that's a vast amount of space that we could build a lot of homes that would mean that your kid might be able to afford a house when they grow up. I really like that green grass, though. That's what we say. It's so pretty. I'm pushing it here. I know. But I'm going to keep going. Why not? Never mind the city council meetings where, as local citizens, we fight those building permits for more condos or more apartments. All housing does benefit all housing. We know that. We know that more apartments, more condos, more luxury townhomes. That does, in the long term, bring down the cost of all housing because it's more inventory. But we dislike density so much here in Reno, we get so mad about it that in South Reno, we actually lit apartment buildings that were in the construction phase on fire multiple times. I think, and my friend Trevor at Address Income actually gets credit for saying this, but I agree. As a society, we selectively choose to keep the cost of housing high, and then we complain about it. So as a realtor, what stance are you going to take? Oh, you didn't know you had to take one? You have heard that expression, right? That if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. If you're going to be someone's real estate advisor, especially if you want to be their lifelong advisor on all things investing in real estate, at some point in your relationship with them, you're going to have to tell them what you truly, honestly think. You're going to have a moment where your sincere, honest, if it were me opinion becomes relevant. And the hope is that when you're asked that question, the what would you do if you were me, that you're ready to not only share an honest opinion, but an educated one. I think that a lot of times when we get asked those questions and we say, well, I can't tell you what to do, it's actually not that we're trying to cover our ass. Honestly, I think it's that we haven't put enough time into thinking, if I was in their shoes, what would I do? So I challenge you to spend some time this weekend. What do you think fixes the housing crisis that we are currently in? I'd love to hear. So reply to this email or drop a comment on this video, but let's start a conversation. We are the boots on the ground. We do real estate all day and we encounter the realest of real-time situations with our clients. So let's have an intelligent conversation about what it's going to take to keep the American dream alive.